All right, so yesterday just happened in the same hour. Josh Rosen, UCLA quarterback, declared for the NFL draft. Hour later, Instagram, Sam Darnold declared for the NFL draft. It was time for both to go. Okay, Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen have the physical and mental makeup to be pros. Josh Rosen got hurt. They got a new head coach at UCLA. He's smart and capable. Why risk an injury with a new staff? Sam Darnold, I just didn't think he was getting better. From the Penn State Rose Bowl win that we all fell in love with a year ago to the Ohio State loss, was he getting better? I think he was frustrated with the USC coaching staff. I was told that. The head coach is not willing to make changes I think they need to make. It's time to move on. On average, NFL coaching's better than college coaching. Both are going to have growing pains. Guess what? You should have growing pains in the first year of a new job. I did here, I did at ESPN, and I did at every local job I had. If you're not having growing pains, then you're not challenging yourself. By the way, let me show you the first year for Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, and Andrew Luck. Bradshaw had 6 touchdowns and 24 picks. Aikman had 9 touchdown throws and 18 picks. Manning had 26 touchdowns and 28 picks. And Andrew Luck was the best with 23 touchdowns and 18 picks. Brett Favre, tons of picks. In year 3, Brett Favre had more picks than interceptions. Deshaun Watson threw a ton of picks. Don't worry about it. Does Sam Darnold and does Josh Rosen, do they have the mental and physical qualities necessary to make the National Football League leap? Absolutely. Don't worry about their flaws. Nobody goes from college to the NBA flawless. Ewing didn't, Duncan didn't, Michael Jordan didn't, and Magic couldn't shoot in college. Either can Ben Simmons. Okay, if you've topped out in college, you're like the guy in high school that never got cooler than your senior year on the football team. If you're a top 5 pick and emotionally and mentally ready to play, physically, go. Don't get paralyzed by a kid's college numbers. I hear a lot of you saying, well, Darnold had interceptions. Let's put up Rosen and Darnold's college numbers. By and large, Sam Darnold's blow him away. Sam is also bigger, stronger, more athletic. Do I think both could be stars? Yes. Do I think Darnold could fail miserably? No, I don't. I think Sam Darnold has very little chance to bust. I don't think Rosen has a huge chance to bust, but he's not as athletic. If he inherits a bad offensive line and a Todd Haley cocky, aggressive coordinator, he's the kind of kid that won't sit there and take it. He'll fire back verbally. Rosen's got a slightly higher bust level. He's thinner. He's not athletic. He's been hurt in college, and he's got a lot of opinions. Now, let me tell you the first 3 picks in the NFL draft. This is perfect. If these teams don't do what I say here, they're idiotic. The first pick is Cleveland. You take Sam Darnold. Even though he grew up on the beach in California, he has sort of a Midwest ethos and a Midwest personality. In a cold division, he's a big, strong, physical, humble kid. He's got a Midwest ethos. Go to Baltimore, go to Pittsburgh, go to Cincinnati. He's tougher, as they say, than a $4 steak. He's perfect for Cleveland. I know I'm saying that. He's perfect for Cleveland. Josh Rosen should go number 2 to the Giants. He's coastal. He will not be overwhelmed by the sophistication or the pressure of New York. He comes from some money. He's a West Coast kid. They vacation in the Nantucket region. These are smart people. Not to say Darnold's not, but he's a big city kid. He can handle the New York Times, the New York Post, the New York media, the New York fans. He's like Eli. He can handle it. And number 3, Saquon Barkley should go to Indianapolis, who has the 3rd pick. They'd be silly not to take him. We all know that every quarterback's better with a running game. Andrew Luck's been looking for a co-host in that backfield for 5 years. He's finally got one. And let me tell you, if they draft Barkley with Luck, write it down. Congrats, Tennessee and Jags. Your run's over. They'll dominate that division for 8 years in Indianapolis, because Barkley's a home run at a running back. Darnold to the Browns, Cleveland within a couple of years will be viable. Live with his interceptions. Favre, Manning, Bradshaw, Aikman threw a ton. Rosen goes to the Giants. He'll pick up that playbook in 45 minutes. Super smart, throws a beautiful football, a worldly kid that's perfect in New York. And Colts, give Andrew Luck some help. He's got it. Andrew Luck and Barkley will take that division over for as long as they're healthy. Okay, Sam Darnold, you did an interview with him. I think he's perfect for Cleveland. He's big, he's tough. Even though he grew up on the beach in L.A., he's kind of a Midwestern kid.
Right. Yeah, he's blue collar background.
So you did a big interview with him. What struck you?
That probably, and just the athleticism. I mean, when you look back at so many of these quarterbacks, and I'm sure this contrast with Rosen is going to be so interesting because they're so different personally. Their backgrounds couldn't be more different.
They're opposites.
They both grew up near the beach, but one came from entirely different kind of class than the other and status. And so to me, what stuck out was he was the farthest thing from a test tube quarterback. They didn't have the quarterback coach and, all of that, the grooming. He played everything.
He was a linebacker initially in high school.
He was a linebacker till, I think, junior year. I think that was stopped when he was a sophomore. And he looks like a linebacker.
Yes.
And I think that's part of the reason those guys loved him so much. I know it didn't all go perfectly this season, but I think that team gravitated toward him because he wasn't just a quarterback. He was a football player to them. I think that's something that will come up in these interviews over and over again, a theme with him. And the way that translates to the field is he's hard to bring down. He's do things. He's mobile. He's like Roethlisberger.
No, there's no question.
Smaller.
Rosen is Peyton Manning, a brainiac who's going to have a few surgeries. He's not athletic, but he will memorize the phone book in your local town and throws a beautiful, accurate ball and manipulates the line of scrimmage. Darnold is a shorter Big Ben.
Right.
He's going to drive you nuts. He's going to make mistakes, but he's going to have guys bouncing off him. I think you said this during the break. I think Darnold's a shorter Big Ben or an Andrew Luck, and I think Rosen ends up being kind of a Peyton where he'll rub some people the wrong way. Like
he's so smart. I mean, he's so smart, just like Manning was.
By the way, they both announced within an hour of each other.
Weird, right? Because they were seen as sort of rivals even going into college.
Yes.
I mean, a long time ago.
Because Rosen got all the press.
Had all the acclaim. Darnold had nothing. And there were other quarterbacks in Southern California, too, who had more acclaim than Darnold did at the time. But I remember when I talked to Darnold in the summer, I think Rosen had just reached out to him, and he was sort of weighing, do I go to dinner? Do I try to kind of create a relationship here, a friendship? I thought that was interesting. You know Darnold way better than I do, if that was coincidence or not, that they would do that so closely together.
I think they have a really strong respect for each other. I think opposites can attract. They're complete opposites. But the one thing they have in common is they've had to carry their local Los Angeles college program. They know it's really hard. They know they're both going to end up being rich. And I think they both grew up on the beach in L.A., and they feel really lucky that they did.
Yeah.
So even though they have these different personalities, I think Josh realizes he's lived a great life, and I think Sam loves his life. I don't think he's not going to retire in Cleveland.
No.
But I think
San Clemente all the way.
By the way, San Clemente's a great town. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, for that story. And he is the mayor of San Clemente.
Oh, God, it's a great little town. It's a great beach town. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.